So as of today, there are many super teams in the cinematic universe. Like on one side, there are the Avengers. On the other side, there are the Thunderbolts, who even call themselves the Avengers. The Young Avengers team is also being formed, but in an alternate universe, there are the Fantastic Four. Mutants, meaning the X-Men, also exist. But in every team, there is one character who is the most powerful. And today, we are going to talk about the most powerful members of all these teams. First, let's talk about the Avengers. So after Endgame, half of the core Avengers were gone. Because of this, the Avengers team was officially inactive, and the Avengers who were still alive went their own separate ways. That's why now the responsibility is on Sam Wilson to rebuild the Avengers team again. But until Endgame, the Avengers team that we saw, the most powerful member in that team was the God of Thunder, Thor. And this is because Thor had already unlocked his powers at that time, and if he wanted, he could easily turn an entire city into dust or even destroy a whole planet using Stormbreaker. Even after becoming out of shape in Endgame, he still gave Thanos a really good fight. But in Infinity War, he overpowered the Outriders and protected Wakanda, and even cut through the full force of all 6 Infinity Stones and almost killed Thanos. And feats on this level have not been achieved by any other Avenger so far. Hulk is also an Avenger, but during the events of Infinity War and Endgame, Bruce Banner was unsuccessful in bringing Hulk out. Because of this, he becomes Professor Hulk, and now his aggression is completely gone. After this, Scarlet Witch is also officially an Avenger, and because of her reality manipulation abilities, she becomes even more powerful than Thor. But until the events of Endgame, Wanda did not use abilities like hex creation and full reality manipulation. At this time, Wanda was only using telekinesis and mind manipulation. After WandaVision, she unlocked all of her abilities, but by that time, the Avengers team had already become inactive. That's why we cannot consider Wanda the strongest Avenger. Now talking about Doctor Strange. So he is the Sorcerer Supreme, because of which he becomes the master of the mystic arts. In Infinity War, we have seen that Strange is so capable that he can fight equally against the Infinity Stones. But Doctor Strange never officially became an Avenger. He protects realities along with the Sanctums. In Infinity War, he meets the Avengers for the first time and then turns to dust. After that, he directly appears in Endgame, and by that time, the Avengers team was already disbanded. That's why Strange never officially became an Avenger, and we cannot call him the most powerful Avenger. Now, Ms. Marvel is forming the Young Avengers team, in which all the superheroes' kids will be included, and at the current time in the MCU, many super kids have already been introduced. So it's possible that after an event like Doomsday, all the Avengers might die, and the Young Avengers will continue the story forward. The Young Avengers team has not been officially formed yet, but the most powerful member of this team will be Wiccan, because Wiccan has learned how to use his abilities, and he can manipulate reality. This ability is not possessed by any other Young Avenger. We can't really say much about Thor's daughter, Love. After her revival, she has become the Avatar of Eternity. So in the future, she might also get reality-bending abilities. Now let's talk about the Fantastic Four. In this team, there is the most intelligent man on the planet, there is a guy who can make himself as hot as the sun, and there is someone who is made completely of rock. But these three are not the most powerful. Basically, in the Fantastic Four's universe, Franklin Richards is the most powerful. He was only a few days old when he was born, but even then, Galactus considered him his successor. He brought Susan Storm back to life, which shows his cosmic abilities. For now, we still haven't seen Franklin Richards' full universal reality-bending abilities. But if we talk about the original Fantastic Four team, then the most powerful member among them is Susan Storm. She can turn herself invisible and create force fields. With her willpower, she has fought against very powerful opponents. In the comics, Susan Storm has the potential to defeat the entire Avengers team. And in the MCU, she single-handedly pushed Galactus back. Galactus is a cosmic being, and Susan Storm is just a force field generator. But for a few moments, Susan overpowered Galactus. Now the Thunderbolts also call themselves the Avengers, and they are even in a legal battle with Sam Wilson over the Avengers name. But I don't need to tell you that the most powerful member of this team is Sentry. The rest of the Thunderbolts members are at best street level or peak human, but Sentry is a god level being. He got his powers because of experiments done by the Ox Group. Sentry has super strength, super speed, durability, telekinesis, heat manipulation, force field creation, and it is said that he has the power of 1,000 suns, which he has not used yet. Right now, Sentry is in his learning phase. But even then, while holding back, he defeated the entire Thunderbolts team. Sentry also has a dark personality called the Void. The Void is even more dangerous than Sentry, and because of this, Sentry cannot use his powers at full potential. If the Void takes control of the body, he can even attack his own team members. In Multiverse of Madness, we saw the Illuminati team, which had many heavy hitters like Black Bolt, Captain Marvel, and Doctor Strange. But the Doctor Strange of this universe was much more powerful. He already had advanced Eldritch magic, and then he also read the Darkhold. This Strange had even defeated Thanos. The power of the other Illuminati members on one side, and Strange's abilities on the other side. This Strange could destroy an entire universe by dreamwalking. That's why, after the Titan battle, the Illuminati completely ended Doctor Strange's chapter. Because if Strange had stayed alive, the Darkhold's corruption would have become a major threat to their universe. Now let's talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy. After Volume 3, more than half of the Guardians retired. That's why now we get to see the new Guardians of the Galaxy. The most powerful member of this team is Adam Warlock. In the comics, Adam Warlock has the Soul Stone, and many times he has even wielded the Infinity gauntlet. In the MCU as well, Adam is not weak. He was taken out of his cocoon before time. That's why he could not fully mature. But even then, he single-handedly destroyed the Guardians. The Sovereigns created Adam as a perfect being. That's why he is the most powerful member of his race. In the X-Men universe, many powerful mutants exist. Overall, Professor X is a global-level telepath who can use his psychic attacks on the entire world. That's why he seems the most powerful. But Jean Grey even overshadows Professor X's abilities. Jean's powers were so strong that Charles Xavier created mental blocks inside her mind during her childhood so that she could be controlled in the future. But when the Phoenix Force chooses Jean as its host, Jean becomes even more powerful than before. Now she can manipulate matter on a planetary level, resist telepathic attacks, and disintegrate anyone with just her thoughts. So friends, today's list ends here. If you think that some other super team or a powerful member was left out, then do let us know in the comments section. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.